That was absolutely pathetic. I am in an utter state of disbelief. Just embarrassing, humiliating, poor all round. I can't name one player in that Tottenham side who made me proud tonight, who made me think, you know what, I can hang my hat on that. And many people watching this who are already subscribed will know I'm quite a balanced Spurs fan. I'm quite the type who will find positives in certain things. But tonight, there's not one positive to take from this defeat. Against a Chelsea side, now, don't get me wrong, they deserved the victory. Should have been probably 3 or 4-0. But that result, that scoreline flatters us. That scoreline flatters us. This is going to be a tricky job for Thomas Frank, and I think he's going to face a lot of criticism tonight, like from myself, but also a lot more from other fans. Some other fans are going to go well in on him, and Jamie Carragher made some very clear and obvious points tonight about that game, and he was spot on. He was absolutely spot on. But before we go any further, if you are new to the Sonny Talk Spurs YouTube channel and you're just discovering me here and now, then get down below, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell because it'll let you know when I've gone live after games such as this. Hype the video as well, and let me know in the comments down below what is going wrong at Spurs. Where do you see the issues? Because tonight, that's just awful. That's just absolutely awful, especially against Chelsea. I mean, this Chelsea side are nothing special, but tonight they absolutely dominated us, battered us, and humiliated us, and we've got nothing to show for it. It's embarrassing. And I'll look at the stats first of all, as we always do in these match reactions. Chelsea, 15 shots, 9 on target, 51% possession. For Spurs, 3 shots, 1 on target, 49% possession. It's embarrassing. It's just so bad how many players in this team are passengers. There was no grit, no fight, no determination, and it was absolutely embarrassing. And Jamie Carragher, I mentioned him there. He said some clear things. You could have gone all night there and Spurs wouldn't have scored. There was no urgency. There was no willingness to turn this game on its head. Just a reliance on set pieces and throw-ins that were awful as well. No absolute chances that you could, I've read the stats there. 3 shots, 1 on target. When? I think the best shot was from that long throw-in where Bentancur just stabbed it, and I don't even think that one was on target. It's just really a worrying thing. And then Jamie Carragher was saying stuff about, how, again, this Chelsea side aren't amazing, and I know Carragher's had his thing with Chelsea this season and gone in on them, but this Spurs side, it's still very naive. It's still very naive. And my counter-argument would be, we have got to remember last season, I know we won the Europa League under Ange Postecoglou, but we did finish 17th. It said on the commentary there, I mean, our form against Chelsea over the years, I think we've, in 66 or 67 Premier League games, we've won 8. That's crazy. That's awful. And I think we've only won 3 games at home in the Premier League all calendar year in the year 2025. It's just, there's so many issues. There's so many issues. I mean, the home atmosphere, it's such a vicious circle, because I can understand, and obviously I wasn't at the game tonight, as you can tell, but I've been to 2 losses this season at home, Bournemouth and Villa, and it is a vicious circle, because that football at the moment and that style is not going to get you off your seat. It's not going to get you behind the players. The players' attitude's not going to get you up, and so it does. I understand why the atmosphere is like that. It makes perfect sense, because on the road, the away fans have been really good. We've seen victories. We've gone 1-0 up, so they've got something to cheer about. But tonight, I'm glad I wasn't there. And to say that as a Spurs fan it's embarrassing, isn't it? Like, I'm embarrassed to say that, but it was just pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic from. I mean, the only player who was sort of good, maybe Vicario, I'd say, who, basically kept us in it at some points. But, yeah, I mean, the goal is summed up, because some of the passing from the back is terrible. It's terrible. Like, we're getting stuck on the ball and just don't know what to do. There's no one in between the lines to pick it up. Everyone on the ball in midfield is just doesn't know what they're doing. And, you could highlight that Lucas Bergvall going off injured, those legs that he provides is annoying, but it's protocol, it's concussion. And at the end of the day, Thomas Frank should be adapting to that. I praised him for being an adaptable manager. But you bring Xavi Simons in, you sub him off. I mean, again, I'll talk about the individual players in a minute, but that goal, how Jed Spence just runs with it, loses it, gives it back to Xavi Simons, goes to Van der Ven, and then Caicedo pounces on it. That's a top quality player, and Joao Pedro finishes it, and he hasn't scored in his last 2 games. But that's the difference. That's how top teams will go on to do further. And that's why Chelsea have always been a top team. Whereas Spurs, it's just, that's who we are. That's literally who we are. That's what we do. You can tell by the tone of my voice, and, most Spurs fans watching this now will say the same thing. It's just, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I've not had a goal at this Spurs side for a long time. After the Monaco game, I had some positives. After, Newcastle, I said we had energy. We looked like we had a bit of something about us. Maybe a lack of fight. But at the moment, like, I can understand people would say that the job might be a bit too big for Thomas Frank at the moment. It's all right for Brentford to set up like that against Chelsea at home and, expect that. But no, there's just nothing there. There was no counter-attacking. There was no, impetus for wanting to go on and further yourself in that game. It's just poor. It's just really, really poor. I've got no other words for it, even though I've listed off of quite a few. It just baffles me how you, as a Tottenham Hotspur player, go into a London derby and put out that rubbish. It just isn't good enough. It's not good enough. And at the moment, it's hard to, you have to point the finger at the manager. You have to point the finger at the players. What's going on? What is going on that we can't, unless it's Mohamed Kudus trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat, nothing's happening. Nothing is happening in this side. And you look at, like, the individual players' performances today. Again, Vicario, kept us in it, looks all right. But again, he's passing from the back is poor. It's really bad. Like, he's inviting pressure on us. I thought Pedro Porro and Jed Spence were terrible. Absolutely terrible. Their balls up the line, going long, misplaced passing, out of position in places. Van der Ven had a poor game after a good game last week. Danzo looked off it, booked for a cynical foul. Saab missing. Palhinha just poor. Bentancur bad. Could he have been sent off potentially? But I think a yellow was fair. Kudus was okay, but didn't really do much. Kolo Muani missing. I said about, I did a video about Tottenham striker issues, and, he don't look like he's going to solve it either. And Bergvall went off, and then you had Xavi Simons come on, who I'll talk about him in a minute because he's got to buck up his ideas. Adogi came on, nothing. Johnson, nothing. Odegaard, nothing. Romero looked better, coming in, a little bit more solid in that back line. So, I would be playing him next weekend against Christian Romero. But Xavi Simons, I've already done a video on him saying that, like, the problem with him, but I don't know what he's good at the moment. And there was a lot of, hoo-ha about him coming into this league. And, we don't get me wrong, we've got to give him time, we've got to let him adapt. But at the moment, I'm not sure what he's good at. He's slow, he hasn't got an eye for a pass. There was one moment where you want him to overlap Spence. You want him to do the overlap, but he's just running next to him. It's absolutely crazy. The fact he was subbed on, maybe he wasn't prepared for this game, and then he obviously gets subbed off again because he's basically played like the minutes he would have had if he had started. It's just, it worries me. It worries me. After missing out on Morgan Gibbs-White, after missing out on Everett Eze, we thought this was the guy who was going to take that mantle. But at the moment, I miss Kulusevski, I miss James Maddison. They're the Mavericks who would turn a game on its head and really be the best. So I don't know what to say about Xavi Simons. I will give him the benefit of the doubt, but I don't know for how much longer, because for the price you pay, you want more. You want more from a player like that. He's bloody got Xavi in his name, for God's sake. Like, he's going to get compared to all these other players in world football. That's it. That's all I can say. I could moan we're going for about nearly 10 minutes here. I could moan till I'm blue in the face, but I'm going to leave it there because I'm absolutely exhausted. But yeah, let me know what you thought of the game in the comments down below. And as always, if you know, it's a rant. If you have enjoyed, leave your likes, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And until next time, guys, I don't know what my next video is going to be. Well, God knows, something on Thomas Frank being incompetent, maybe. I'm joking. But we'll see. And I'll be reacting to the Copenhagen game as well on Tuesday. That is a massive game now at home. My word, huge. And we can't blame Daniel Levy anymore. So that's out the window. But yeah, see you guys soon. Hope you have enjoyed or something. See you guys later. Up the Spurs. Bye.